us a little bit about your podcast. And what I'd like to know is what the reason I love doing this is I get to learn, right?
Yeah.
So when I interview people about kindness, I get to learn a lot. This is really teaching me what I need to think about for when I need to consider what happens next in a few years' time. What have you learned from interviewing the amount of people you have on your podcast?
So there were things that I think, these were some particularly like amazing episodes that I really loved just in general. They weren't necessarily personally applicable, but I thought they were just really, really, really great. Will Rainey talking about children and money. Now, I don't have kids. Probably never going to have kids, but it was a great episode in terms of just really useful information and really interesting. Quite an early one we did with a guy called Jasper Lions, where he talked about getting paid properly for your time, whether you're pricing as a self-employed person or whether you are negotiating salary. That was a really useful one. That gave me some insights I hadn't had.
So here's the interesting thing on that. A lot of the people who are thinking about what happens next are moving from environments where they've not had to worry about being paid for their time because they've been senior management in a particular organisation. And one of the things they might consider, maybe for their financial well-being, but also for their intellectual well-being, is consulting or doing non-executive directing. So what tips did Jasper share that were really useful in that particular space?
Well, his main thing was that what you're charging is based on the value or the perceived value from the customer's perspective.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's about what they perceive.
The value you add.
It's about the value you add. And it's really easy to start thinking from your own perspective, well, I've got this and I've got that. I bring this many years of experience. Or no, it's what problem are you solving? What is that problem costing the client? And therefore, what might they be willing to pay you to solve that problem?
Yeah.
So that for me was just a really, really useful one. And then he also did some good tips on salary negotiation for people who are maybe at a different stage in their career from your senior execs that mostly will be pretty expert in that already. But somebody a bit younger might really want some of those sort of tips on salary negotiation.
And
really good.
Working that also, in my experience running a business and having to think about pricing quite a lot, also makes it clear about where you don't add value. Because I think actually having had a conversation this week with a client where we got to the end of the conversation, I helped as much as I could and then said, you really shouldn't engage me as your financial planner because I can't add enough value to validate my fee.
Yeah.
But being clear on where the value lies, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because with value, some of it's tangible and some of it actually is about the conversations and the curiosity and helping people find their own answers, and that is probably a bit more difficult to put a price on. But I thinking about the value you add is really important.
Absolutely.
I love that. So that was one. Will Rainey.
That was one. Will Rainey was one. One that I think, again, in the what happens next world might be good. Patrick Hill. Now, he was talking about recovering from losing a job. And he was talking about that. We recorded that in 2021. It was one of the first things we did after lockdown started and ended, and we started being able to come back into workplaces. And Patrick was talking a lot about, take situations where somebody might have lost a job or been made redundant or whatever it might be. But there are still some really, really good tips in there about identity and you're using your time and what things might come up for you without work in your life. And so also Patrick is just the most lovely person. He's amazing. He's like the most like a Zen master who's just really into Kylie Minogue.
It's a combination.
It's Yeah,
a brilliant combination.
It's a brilliant combination. He's
Love
just
that.
A delight. He's absolutely a delight.
Patrick Hill, and what we'll do is when we share this, if there's notes, we'll make sure we put links to the podcast on that. Because I absolutely love that.